Camera. All right. Woo-hoo. All right. Hey, Rusty, Adam, how you guys doing? It's going to go live like 45, 55 minutes ago, and I saw Mama Bird and GP were doing their thing, so I just joined and hung out there. Started cleaning out one of my other sheds, so I got room for some of this stuff that keeps getting dumped off in the garage. And then it snowed again. So I'm so sick of fighting with the snow. .406 Stacy, I'm trying to clean up a mess. But I'm gonna trace out and bend up another classifier. We got a few people wanting some, and I don't have any left to sell right now. Oh, it's full of water. This usually lives up here where you guys are at, but I don't think I'm gonna put it there right now. Figure I just ain't gonna put everything too far away, because every time I put it all away, then 3 days later I'm digging my cleanup flues out again. Pretty soon here I'll just be able to set this stuff up out in the yard and leave it out there. All right, almost there. Lord Shadow, how's it going? Hearts of Gold, how you doing? Alright. This thing here, this is one of my favorite auction items. I paid $4 or $5 at an auction, and it's kind of like what you'd see under a water heater or washing machine or something. Just a steel pan, and it's got one drain on it, and it works so nice for playing with this wet stuff out here. It can drip and leak all over, and it just all collects and runs down back into my tub. All right. Got a few more classifiers left in this sheet, and then I got a full 10-foot piece. I thought I was going to be able to get classifiers out of this piece, which here's part of it too. So this was way out here long. I don't know if you can see that far, but when I cut them off in this direction and make my folds, the holes are up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and they fold over real nice. But when they're in this orientation and I make my folds, it folds right through a straight line of holes. But then when I beat it flat, like this right here, it just tears off. So the first time I did it, I thought, well, that's weird. And so I broke it off. I was like, well, this one will be shorter. And I did it again. And when I did it again, that one tore right off as well. And I realized that I can't do them in that direction. Yeah, half the reason my shop is a mess like this right now, Stacy, is because she has broken both of her Jeeps, and the one's been in here getting diagnosed, which it's fixed, it's running, it runs great again. I won the battle finally, and it tried tricking me. It had the nicest, most beautiful blue spark you've ever seen on cylinder 3, where it said it had a misfire. And I just put a spark plug in the wire, laid it on the manifold, and started it, and it was crisp and clean and blue and consistent. And so I said, well, it's got spark, and I just eliminated that in my diagnosis. And then I went into the rabbit hole of a million other things. And my buddy came over the other night. We did a compression test, which was like at 140 PSI. So there wasn't any leak down on the valves or nothing. So logically, we were thinking the next step would be an injector. And of course, that means ripping the whole plenum and everything off to get at the fuel rail and pull injectors out. We switched the number 1 and the number 3 spark plug to see if the problem moved, if it really was just a bad spark plug, even though it looked good. And the problem did not move. But in doing that, we noticed that pulling the plug wire off and putting it on, the number 1 would jump like an 1.5 inch gap, and the number 3 didn't jump like that. And so then we switched the wires with 3 and 5 and did the same thing with it running, pulled the wire off from 5, and it would drop down. Now it's only running on 4 cylinders. It would drop down, but when you put it back on, not only would it pick the cylinder back up, it would jump like a 1 inch gap and just crack, 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 crack. And so then back and forth with 3, no change when you pull it off or put it on, and there was no jump in the spark. So we got on the old Amazon and ordered up a $32 ignition coil that has all 6 in one. Slapped that on tonight. I didn't even have to do any testing. As soon as you started it, you knew it was running. It sounded great again. And so she's out driving that. The last 2 days, Saturday and Monday and Wednesday, when she had to work, well, Saturday she broke down. I had to leave the creek, go load all the mail into my truck and drive her out. And then Monday and Wednesday, I had to do that again. So I've been playing mailman, losing out on shop time, losing out on work time. And of course, the weather's been nice where I could have been actually on some of my jobs getting things done. So that's been a bummer. Currently looking for my straight edge. Zach used it last. He did not put it back where it lives. This isn't what I'm after, but I'll use it. So the other Jeep, we've got a very, very expensive part that I'm not 100% sure is the right part. But we kind of got it on a try before you buy deal. So that should be here this week, and that's a couple hours to swap that out, and hopefully we'll have 2 Jeeps again. Yeah, Rusty Nugget, I've got an old camper that right now is full of stuff, and once I get all that stuff sorted through, I think that camper is going to become like my mining shed. I'm just going to set that up. It's the walls and the roof are good, but the interior's gone. And it's never going to be used as a camper again. So I don't care if I get it wet or whatever. But that's kind of my target for putting all the gold stuff in there, nice and small, easy to heat. And I can just let everything sit where I'm done with it, or I can even just make a spot like clean up sluice lives here, and the if I want to run my dream map, I don't have to put the pumps and everything away. 3 bags in the parts cannon, full explosion lately here, and I hate doing that. I don't have issues like that. But, I guess it is what it is sometimes. All right, it looks like 32-ish. Let's go. There it is. That's crooked. Let's just go right there. That looks like a nice spot to cut. Justin, how you doing tonight? Yeah, we got home earlier today. We finished the mail route at like before 1 o'clock. We were home, and I've been up since 4:30. So I stuffed my face quick and then climbed in the recliner. And I got a nice 2.5, 3-hour nap in. Just after I woke up, Amazon truck rolled in with Jeep parts. And I got that out of the way and got a fire going in here because it was a little chilly. And now I've got to just do this. I don't remember my measurement, and I used to have it. I know it's supposed to be an inch bigger than this, so yeah, 17. That's the number. That sounds right. Doesn't really matter because they're rough measurements, and I end up cutting off. So much of it anyway. On the final fold of the bottom, I just kind of cut them as I go. Fold them in. Where did my marks go? Oh, there they are. Yep, everything seems to agree. Now, the first one I made for myself, at this point, I grabbed my plasma cutter, and it cuts quick and easy, but every time you hit a hole, if you're not quick enough getting across the hole, it goes out, and you got to re-squeeze the trigger and start again. And then after you do the plasma cutter, even though it cuts clean as could be, you still end up over on the grinder trying to clean it up. And I found that even though it takes a little longer to do them with the scissors, that it's just quicker and cleaner, and when I'm done, it's ready to go because the scissors leave a nice clean edge. So as soon as I figure out where I stuffed them at, Big old metal shears, snippity snip. I don't have the chat up on that one. It was up. Brad, how you doing? Oh, Jason isn't available Monday. Somebody should reach out to Glacial Gold Hunter then. He's laid up at home. He isn't doing nothing. He would be awesome to do interviews with because of all the geological stuff, and he seems to be a really, really cool character. He's got his, you can Gmail him, and he responds on his Instagram as well. I've messaged him that way also. But he would be my vote, Stacy, for Monday night. If Jason's not available, Glacial Gold Hunter would be awesome. Let's see. I wanted to make one of these classifiers for the Glacial Gold Hunter because he's always struggling driving the crazy school bus. And here he's probably had one for a few months because I know his videos are behind. But last week he popped up with one. That was the first thing I commented, like, man, I was going to send you one of mine to get a good review from you. Rusty Nugget, you got one of them, but you haven't gone to the creek yet with it, have you? I don't know. Is Rusty still in? He's in here. Hello. It takes a little bit of hand pressure to get through this, but it cuts pretty well. The thickness is one thing, but with all the holes, you can hear it just click, 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 click. Right. Half the battle right there. I gotta keep turning it because I got a big bucket of water on the floor there that can't get near my table. Get the bench vise out there. Sweet. Now before I do this one, I'm just going to mark out the next one. That'll speed me up a little on the next one. And it looks like awesome. I get one more out of it. It's about a ½ inch shorter. And I can either make the hem less, or I actually cut about an inch off of when I fold the bottoms in, so that'll work out great. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this piece here because I can't just, like I said, I can't just turn them this way, and when you bend it over to do the hem, it just tears off like a piece of folded paper because of the way it's orientated, the way the rows are on. I'm glad I didn't try to make my first one that direction because I would have folded it over and it would have failed, and I probably would have just said okay, and I wouldn't have cut this sheet anymore. So I was lucky that it was my fourth one I was trying to make when that happened. Usually I have my classifier in here so I can look at it and cheat. But I'm going to try to do this one from memory. All right. We're going to reposition you guys. Turn the corner here to the super brake. Sorry for the extreme close-up. Give a little bit of rotation this way. Make sure my phone's not going to mash the floor. Oh, chat came back on this phone. For a second, anyway. Hey, Assassin. Well, that's weird. It says, I see people commenting, but it says no one's in chat. Clearly Rusty's still here. And I'm still live because it just showed me walking into the screen. And yeah, guys, I'm in my pajamas. That's a nice thing about working from home. I got all my winter gear. I'm layered up. But when I had a choice between pants and pajamas, I chose pajamas to walk back out here. So this is the brake that I made. I started making a video of it. And then, I don't know, it's one of the ones that I just never edited and uploaded. And I think the footage is all saved somewhere in my Google account. But it's a 10-inch galvanized I-beam and an 8-inch piece of C-channel. This is the leg from a trampoline. And then this piece here, what do I do with my wrenches? This is just a heavy piece of angle iron from an antique bed. And then I welded this heavy pipe on top of it. And then I also have some shorter bridges that, there we go, other than that, came over out. I have some shorter bridges that, well, here's one. These go like this, you get this out of the way. And then I've got like 10 and 12-inch pieces. So, like when I'm folding my sluice boxes up, I can put these in the sluice box to do the end folds. And I just clamp them down in the bridge. And it's crude and primitive, but it gives me nice, clean brakes. And once I get it painted, it's probably going to live outside all summer long. I don't really like it in the way, but I kind of traded my Harley's parking spot for this thing. And this has brought me way more enjoyment this winter than the Harley did. So, okay. Steven, how you doing, buddy? Who else is in here? AAA, I said hi to you. Adam, I said hi. Rusty, I don't know if you ever answered me. Not yet. We haven't had many warm days to make it to the creek. Definitely understand that. Sweet. See, I read your long comment. Just not going to help out. Okay. So the first thing I do is I fold the hem over. And that gives me that double thickness on the top. So when you're beating it up with your shovel, it handles it. Try not to smash on it too much, but then I usually eyeball these with the holes as my guide. and the crack between the two pieces of the brake, and then you kind of got to get the top bar where it goes. So let's see, 4 and I'm right on the line. Actually, that's probably 4 on this side of the line, 4 on this side of the line. That looks nice and straight all the way down. Then this thing's got slotted holes so I can wiggle it to adjust it. And like I said, it's primitive and crude, but it's better than clamping it in a 2x4, which I have definitely done a lot of that. And I do have access. A buddy of mine's got a really nice siding brake I can go use anytime I want, but I don't always bend aluminum or tin. So this thing, where my solution is at? This guy here, this is the bottom for my high banker I'm building, and it's stainless steel. It's every bit as thick as this aluminum, I don't know, 16 or 18 gauge, and 5 foot long. And I won't lie to you, I was pulling for all I was worth to bend that, but it did a really nice job of bending it. So someday I'll get out here. I had this all set up and I was ready to start welding legs on it when I lost this half of my shop to broken feet. So every time I get close to making some progress on my big high banker, I end up getting set back, or it gets so cold I don't want to be out here. Don't like that. Not where I want it to be. There. That's it. And I have also found it helps with heavier material. If I'm worried about it, I just clamp a vice grip right here and right here. So when I do bend it, it doesn't shove it back through. But it's pretty painless. I like that gap all the way down. Nothing to that. Bang. I used to do these with my impact, which is definitely faster. But since then, I've welded T's to the bottom of the bolts, and the wrench works pretty well now. All right, so side here. That is pretty good, and it didn't break in half when this is how far I got with the other ones. And when you would fold this over, because it's all on one row and not the staggered row, then after you beat that down like that, you can just grab it and peel it off like a zip strip. And that would not have been good. And I know that mine doesn't do that because I've been using mine all over the place. And it's not been an issue. All right, I'm gonna just do this right on the floor. All right. So when I make these, what do we got in the chat? Hi, Annie. Oh, 403's here as well. What's going on, buddy? King's Gold, how you doing, sir? When I do the hem, I fold it over and then I leave that on the outside when I start making the cylinder. I figure that way when you're dumping the rocks out, it's a smooth out. We're not going to have anything catching on that. Although it does make the outside surface a little rougher, but we're miners, we can handle that. And then I try to make this nice factory edge versus this cut edge. I try to make this on my last piece so that it ends up on top. So then that will overlap this piece on my final lap over, and then you end up with that cleaner edge. Although I might not always be able to do that. Just depends on how these sheets are as I get them in the future. But if I couldn't do that, then I would just run to the grinder, and actually I should do that with this one. I should grind all these little points off just because they're gonna be dangerous. I'm gonna make some noise over here in the corner. I'll be right back. Okay, of course the grinder caught it for me. So there, much better. I just took all them high lumps off from there, so you know, and it probably wouldn't be an issue until later on, and then you'd stick your hand inside, and there'd just be a little jagged thing. Nobody wants to get sliced open in the creek. I do these this way. And then somewhere I have two little cheater gauges. I think that might have been one of them. I don't know. I don't know what I did with them last time. Sometimes I put them up here with the template. Mm-hmm. And I might have lost them. Or they could just be laying on the floor here. Or in any one of these 20 buckets that I've got stacked around here. Yeah, what a bummer. That's okay. I can make a new one. I'm pretty sure this one's too long. Oh no, that's one of them. See, here's my little, when I was doing all the geometry, figuring it all out. Looks like a prize wheel, doesn't it? But, so I have two of these and I use them to set my depth. Somewhere there's just an itty bitty little brown piece of metal floating around. Usually I'm pretty good about tucking them away, but then this thing gets beat on. The brake, the one end of it, I designated as the shop anvil as well. So anything you leave on here ends up bounced off onto the floor. And I almost folded up a cover for the whole thing that's like a triangle, because you can't have any flat surfaces in a shop or somebody walks in and sets something on it. Huh. Well, I guess I'm going over to the pile and getting me something to make a new one with. It's under this cool wagon that's in my way. Don't see it anywhere. Well, I think that counts as a full and thorough search. I'm going to make a new one. Use this old piece of flooring. That'll be easier to not lose. I'm actually going to make them a little bit shorter, because I had one recently that I think the one I sold on eBay actually ended up bigger than I liked. And it was because of this. When I got all the way back around, I was off by enough where I almost didn't have a hem to put the two halves together. So, and I suppose it was just not keeping that distance consistent like I did when I was measuring them out. If I was smart, I would lay them out and draw a line and line and line and line and line, and then I would just bend on the lines and be done. But I don't know, that just seems too easy. And the reason why I don't do it is because they don't always bend exactly where you want them to bend. And then it would be off on the next one. Again, if this was a real brake, I could get away with that. All right, so there. The biggest thing too is keeping it square. It would be neat to figure out how to do it all pie shapes all the way around so that it tapers like the bucket tapers, but I found that the smaller they are, the more room you have around the bucket, the more room there is for it to crap out around the bucket, and it classifies better. So each one I've made has gotten just a little bit smaller than the one before. Except for the one that ended up bigger by accident. I think, Rusty, yours is by far the nicest one. The only thing I think that I didn't do on yours was pull the bolts out of the seam and replace them with rivets. But those are nylock nuts, so those are never going to come loose. Where mine has nylock nuts on the seam, but I've got wing nuts in the bottom, where yours is riveted in the bottom. And my wing nuts fall out all the time. And the last time when I upgraded my handle, I was going to do the rivets too, but I got lazy and didn't do it. And then the next time I went to the creek, one of my bolts fell out. Okay, made a speed triangle. That is good enough for me. And I just eyeball these. Once the fold's in there, I can kind of manipulate them when I do the final bend. But if you try to get them all perfect, it doesn't matter anyway because you're opening it up as you're breaking it. So just one little bend at a time. 11 days. What are you doing in 11 days, 403? JP, how's it going, homie? I feel like I should be playing music in the background. It's not like I'm monetized. I'd have to mess with the camera to do it, though, because that's the phone that's got the Bluetooth right now. Yeah, man, I'm still trying to come out there at the end of the month, but I don't know. I haven't made enough money to justify the trip. I have a couple of things for sale that are to justify a lot of my summer plans. So I'm really hoping someone bites on something. Trying to sell my Argo for one. I love the thing, but I just don't use it enough to justify having it sitting around. Seems like every time I use it, I've got to clean the carb and a bunch of other crap, charge the battery, and it's got a brand new battery, but every time I go to it, it's dead because I don't use it for every couple of months. So I've just decided that I'd rather have the money back to go play this summer. All right. Yeah, this is. Oh, let's see. Just my fingers, no big deal. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched my classifier video or the latest comments on it, but I've shipped one out to Washington now, and I've shipped one to Indiana, and shipping was just under $20 to get it to Washington, and I can't remember. Indiana was like 14 or 15 or 16 bucks. So I decided that I'm going to just do a flat $75, shipping included. That gets me back where I want to be, price-wise. And, my original thought was if I could sell these for $50, I would make money because I got a really good deal on the material. And the rest of it, the time in the shop, well, that's just it's therapy anyway. But and I put one on eBay for $55, but then eBay charged me, I don't know, $11 or $12. to sell it. So then when it was all said and done on that one, after shipping and everything, I think they paid me like 43. So I'm just taking eBay out of the equation. I'm going to sell them outright, Cash App or PayPal, or mail me a check. I don't care. And then I will throw them in a bucket and ship it to you. $75 out the door. And some of them I'll do a little worse on shipping, but then some of them I'll get it back on shipping. So I think in the long run it'll work out. And the one I did for Larson's giveaway, that one had a stainless steel handle. I've since found a spot that has the same round stock and just regular steel, not stainless, for half the price. So, and then that same place actually had the big fender washers for half the price. So, I mean, the handles and the washers alone are costing, I want to say, $4. And I don't know, when I run out of material, I don't know what the next sheet of aluminum is going to cost me. I'm just going to have to cross that bridge when I come to it. I got a couple of buddies with big metal shops that I can order it brand new and have it thrown on their order, so the next time they order, it'll just come in on the truck. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, but until I get over with them and see what they're going to charge me, I have no idea. And I was going to buy some stuff so I could do aluminum welding here. When I fold this over, I can weld them together. But I think the rivets are easier and faster and stronger. I would still have to go through all the same process that I'm going through putting the rivets in to weld them. So I might as well just put the rivets in. It's going to be less time, and I don't have to go spend $400 on an aluminum welder. Or upgrade so I can weld aluminum. I like Annie's idea. Give me some sales. I guess Flower Gold Lizard's got a guy that wants one. So he asked me if I was trying to sell a bunch of these, and he worried me a little bit because he's way more popular than me. And if he starts telling people I'm selling classifiers, this could turn into a full-time job for me. Not that I would hate that, but I just hate to overpromise and underdeliver. So I told him, hold up till I get a couple extras made. I'll actually get a little ahead of the game. And I was for a minute there, and then, like I said, I haven't been out in my shop for that kind of stuff in a couple of weeks. But after I get this folded, I've got like another probably a half hour or so of cutting the triangles, and then it's a little tricky to fold one and then the other one on top, and the next one on top, and the next one on top. That part's not hard till you get to the last one, and then you got to open the whole thing up and get it started, and then slowly work them all down together to get that last one overlapped the right way. All right, it's coming right along. Tomorrow, unless it really gets terrible on me, I'm fixing some fascia on a house and starting a dock repair. I found out yesterday that I think I can work around the dock with my waders on. there's one spot where it's going to be real close to the danger zone. But, oh, jeez. That is not right. Oh, there we go. So I either have to wait till it's warm enough where I can swim and fix the dock, or hopefully I can do what I need to do in my waders or in my boat. I started to work on this dock for this guy last fall, but didn't get to it. Luckily for me, he's been patient. But it's been pretty beat up. He wants to be able to go sit down by the pond again, and it's getting old. And it is definitely not old people approved right now. And Wisconsin winters have not been good to it. Looky there. Just about got a garbage can shape. I should make myself a set of nuts for this that have wing nuts on them. I could always switch to regular nuts for when I'm doing stuff I really crank down. I think it would make it faster. Probably my biggest bottleneck right now is getting the wrench and dealing with these. It's way faster than 2 2x4s and workbench. Pretty soon here too, I've got to make a 12-inch sluice that's just like my 10-inch sluice. Because my 10-inch sluice is actually going to my son. It's supposed to be his, and I've just about wore it out already using it. And then Zach's getting a 10-inch sluice. Pretty much just identical to my son's. But we're gonna make the flare on it. The flare on Dean's, it's not in here. The flare on Dean's is like 18 inches long, 15 inches wide. It makes the overall length of the sluice 44 inches. And Wisconsin says your sluice can only be 36 inches long. And I don't know if they count the flare separate. So we're gonna shorten it up to like 9 inches or whatever. So the whole thing is exactly 36. Just in case we ever get messed with on the creek. This one is the hardest one because it's spring-loaded at this point and wants to fight me. But seems to be sticking okay. And I can already tell this one worked out better than the last one. When I folded the last one over right here, I had no lip left to bolt the two together. Okay, that looks to be good. Pull that up out of there. Get that out of there. A little more. Rather have that one too much, I can always bend it back. Might want to give it up. There we go. All right. Forking beautiful. It's got the nice shape. Got a nice piece to overlap with. And I just line them up and bolt it together. And that is what you get. And I don't know, I had discussed making them shorter and then making a bottom piece and folding the bottom piece over and riveting it all the way around the outside. But I don't think that's as strong. I think when you fold these down, not only does the bend in the side give the side more strength, it just keeps it all one piece, and you don't have to worry about it coming apart at that joint. And there's a lot of weight when you got this thing full of rocks and you're bouncing it up and down, and there's 40 pounds hitting that. I think the bend has so much more strength than if I was to not do it that way. Oh, this one really. Some of them turn out better than others, but this one, man, the holes line up clean and the tops are level. A lot of them I got to fudge it a little bit and then kind of grind the tops to get them to match. So this is, and it looks all equidistant and like a perfect hexagon. So this could be one of the nicest ones so far. Then, of course, it's the fourth one now. So I guess I'm getting a little bit better at them as I go. And every time I do more with that brake, I get better at just kind of knowing where everything needs to be. All right, no droppy. It says there's 11 people in here. I think we want to be more that way. Yeah, that works. All right, now I have to find rivets, and nuts and bolts, drill bits. Should be a little piece of a handle in there. Screwdriver. This is supposed to be full of flat washers, and it's not, and they're not there. Well, that kind of wrecks my day. Uh-oh. Well, that's a little bit of a bummer. Not where they're supposed to be. They're not where they're not supposed to be. How many are in there to start with? 24. Ooh, I might have used them all. So I put rivets in, and then I put a washer on the inside of the rivet, because that makes it a little bit bigger when you clamp it down. Hi, honey, we're live.
I kind of figured since you were talking to yourself.
Did you say you're talking to myself? Yeah.
I'm taking these into ship.
Are you? Are you gonna go to Tyson's and get me some more of these rivets?
Rivets? These
Yeah.
are washers.
I mean washers, yeah. I need another handle too, but I don't want it from there. I want it from Schulze's.
Oh. Yeah.
Schulze's, what time is it? Oh, they're close.
Yeah,
Oh, here's one. I thought maybe I dropped some, but then I seen there's only 24 in there. And I think between the two classifiers, I've probably used them all.
yeah, probably. Are these the bigger ones?
No, they look just like this.
Oh, those ones. Okay.
Yeah. No, because the big fender washers, these are 50 cents at Schulze's and they're $1 at Tyson's. And then Tyson's has the stainless steel handles that are, I get one handle for $5.50, and then Schulze's I get two handles for $5.
But they also at Tyson's have these.
Yeah, but
in
those
a
are
pack
thinner.
like this. Oh, are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I bought them before. I actually have some of them out in my trailer.
Okay.
So yeah, I just need.
So far it's running okay.
Oh,
It's
looks like it's
coughing a
driving by.
It's coughing a little, but about
Coughing.
every third or fourth you'll hear the exhaust.
Could be the one plug wire that I ripped off and repaired 4 times in the process of fixing it. But I don't think that would be it. Or it could just be that one spark plug that's been completely soaked several times, which is now in the number 1 hole. So
Like you said, it's smooth and then it'll go.
I can actually hear it right now.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're driving it tomorrow.
Well, yeah. I am not doing that again.
She's getting back from her first trip in the newly repaired Jeep. I'll see you in a little while, honey. See you later, Stevens. I missed you. Hi, Wrench. How you doing, buddy? Always send a sample with the parts runner. She was there when I bought them, so she knows right where they came from, and she's got the original package, so she won't mess. In the meantime, I won't let it slow me down because I can put it together with just the bolts and wing nuts for now, which is what I do anyway. Bolts and wing nuts with and rivets after I get it all where I want it. So the best of both worlds here. In the morning when they open, and I also have to go there and buy some fascia for my job tomorrow, so I'll be there anyway. But start cutting and folding the bottoms in, which is the most fun. It's where I cut my hand the most, and no, actually not that bad. My ducks are outside just honking away. I've been feeding them a lot extra here. And actually, the eggs are coming down again. Figure that out. It's just my luck. Okay. Those ones will end up coming back out because they're way lower than they need to be. It's stronger than the table it's on. Let's see. I need to hand out some wrenches quick too. There's moderator. John R., did I get you? I don't know if I missed anybody else, even if you're gone for next time. I think that's the end of that. Everybody should have a wrench now. Oh, you're getting your shelves in, wrench? That'll be nice. The table that's been in here all winter is now in my office upstairs in the house, which opened up a whole bunch of square footage in here. This stuff is going outside and going to get shed I've been cleaning on, but I've been pulling stuff out and listing things on Marketplace and trying to just liquidate. I have an auction. I keep going to auctions and they're just not bringing very good money. The only ones making money on them are the auctioneers. So I'm just going to sell everything slowly over time myself and It would be nice to have a little bit of money all in one shot, but I'll take more money per item a little bit at a time. That'll work out better for me in the long run. The beast. Walked around with my little cart the other day and a chainsaw and got parts of the yard cleaned up and another 2 days worth of firewood for out here. So, like the thing. Burns nice. Okay. So at this point, I don't. The triangles on the floor. I should be able to figure it out. And the measurement only changes how tall they are. So I only guarantee that they fit in a bucket. I don't really guarantee what height they are. I do not want this chair. Here is the good one. Actually, probably better off closer to the camera here, huh? One of these days, I'm going to start running. Oh, geez, what's it called? A place in North Carolina that everybody loves so much. It'll come to me. I even have a sticker somewhere. The one in Marion, what's it called? Can't even find the sticker. Nope, don't see it anywhere. Gem bag from Careless, but I'm gonna have some water to run. And I got the stuff that I bought and maybe they tried to eat the table. I still need more. She likes being busy, so. Plus that one makes 6. I wouldn't have had enough to get done either way, but that's still good. I didn't lose them all. So we'll start over this way, and then I generally just kind of eyeball these. And you end up kind of doing some trimming anyway as you go, because as you fold them over, they let you know. They either fold nice or they don't. But one thing I will do is establish this line all the way around. I believe there's already a mark on this somewhere. Maybe it's on my other one. We'll call it 4.5 inches. What am I doing time-wise? Benzo starts in a little while. So I'll get a little bit going on, but I'm not going to try to overlap with Benzo because I like hanging out in there. I got a little bit of money in my Cash App, so I want to get in on some duck races. See if I can't win some more cool stuff from Mr. Benzo. But we'll get in 10 minutes. We'll get a few of these done up. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yes, I am. Okay. I have been cutting the fold out and then cutting each triangle off. I'm going to try to cut both triangles this time. I kind of thought of that last time after I did it. I was like, boy, I'm cutting an extra 2 feet on each one of these that I don't need to be cutting. And like I said, there is no exact to this because they all overlap. And then once they're overlapped, then I just kind of squeeze and move, and every once in a while I even have to drill a little bit until I can get a rivet through 3-4 layers. And I just kind of put the rivets where they look like they'll do the most good. So there's one. Well, this is a different triangle, and I do not like it. There we go. I like that one much better. And so one of these days, I'll figure this out where I can just lay a template out, draw all these lines on it where it's flat, and then I'll try to fold it up and see if the lines stay where they're supposed to be. Even when we're folding the sluice boxes up, we'll fold the one side with a line there, and we'll see where it folded versus where the line was. And then we adjust the other side if it's got to be a little bit wider or smaller to accommodate the sluice mat. And with the sluice box and the dream mats, they're thick enough. And I'm sure even one of Stacy's mats will be thick enough where you can kind of shave the corner off to match the radius. And I've had to do that on 2 of them now. Bear, how you doing, buddy? All right, so then I end up with that. And I'd like to tell you I have a really cool break for doing this, but I don't. So I just get them started. The nice thing about it is once I do get them all folded in, I can set it on the floor. And then I've got a couple of pieces that I put in there, and I beat the corner down nice once they're all in there and done. It's kind of lost its perfect hexagon shape, but I'll get that back. Better on the top than the bottom. Oh, that piece is good. But yes, it definitely fits in the bucket, other than, oh, the wing nuts are hitting. So that's what's rubbing. They won't be there. Okay. Take my perfect little triangle here. Yeah, Bear, I took a really nice nap this afternoon. Been a lot of light nights and early mornings lately. And today, when I was done helping the wife with work, it was a short day. And as soon as we got home, we were both on it. We closed the curtains, turned all the lights off. And she got on her couch, I got on my recliner, and we both took a nice long nap. And so now I've got most of a pot of coffee in me. Just like a brand new day for me. And I fixed one broken Jeep, so I'm gonna ride that high for a little while. It won't be long, it'll be back. It never stays out of the shop long. She's got two. If I have them both fixed, I'm super happy, but it never lasts long. With all the changes in the post office now, mail's really been slowing down, and then Amazon's got their own shipping now, so she's not doing as many packages. We really don't need the Jeeps, so we're looking at going with a car again, a right-hand drive car. Something with less maintenance, no four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, but I don't like the gaps there. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm noticing that I'm leaving a pretty good gap here, and even though this folds right over, I'm afraid. Let's just bend it down once and see. Yeah, that's a bigger hole than I want. I'm gonna change where I'm cutting at. I think I'm aiming. Yeah. So instead of cutting to the hole, I'm actually cutting 3 holes wide. So I'm gonna have to tighten up my radiator, my triangle a little bit. I mean, I don't care that it's got holes in it, but I'd like them to all be the same size. So yeah. Right. It shows me drawing the line. Okay. I never know with that phone if it's still on or. I love when I'm watching the live chats and I get 10 minutes behind on the video and I'm commenting on stuff from it's already happened. Stubborn one. Nope. I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah. That one's going to be much better. I know next time I do this, I'm going to have some music playing in the background. At least you guys could have something to listen to. I suppose I could. Got Benzo starting up in 13 minutes. And I like being in there. That's a good crowd hanging out in there. And he has a lot of fun. And someday soon, I'm going to start running some duck races. But I got to get a little bit more stuff first. I don't have anything to give away. Hardly have enough gold for myself, let alone trying to do dirt bags or gold nuggets in duck races. But it's definitely high up on my list of the next things to do. Now this seam where it overlaps is the hardest, so I'm going to skip it. I'm going to go back around to this side. I'm going to keep doing the easy ones first. Save the best for last. Maybe I'll be better at it by then. So I'll get my handle and stuff. I'll probably keep working on this while I'm watching Benzo. Get it all riveted together. And I'll get my washers in and my handle will be ready. But I'll get the handle in tomorrow and then you'll see me making a post how this one will be for sale. So I've definitely proven these to be creek worthy. My wife used this the whole time when we were in North Carolina. And that was with the old handle. It was a lot harder to use with the old handle because it was a 5-gallon bucket handle and they were flimsy. And then I didn't have any washers, so you can only whip a handle back and forth in an aluminum hole so long before the hole disappears. So with the washer in there, the handle is wearing out the steel in the washer, and that hem is holding the washer in place, and they're gonna last. I guess Rusty, if you're still in here, just watch yours for that. Mine doesn't seem to be wearing out at all. So Bear, you can let Rusty know if he's not in here. But yeah, my original one, I wore out both holes, and then my handle broke in half because it was a 5-gallon bucket handle. When I finally did the upgrade to it and then took it to the creek and used it, when these are all said and done, they're 2 and a little bit pounds. So I keep my 5-gallon buckets in my backpack. I have a big gallon bucket. It's my I mean, you just don't even notice this thing in there. It's just so lightweight. Where Zach's is made out of the 1/4-inch punch plate, and I think his classifier weighs more than that. Hey, you guys, Charlie, when he's in the creek, he has a steel classifier that's got reinforcing deals on the inside. You could set a crown on top of it. It is amazingly strong, but it is also amazingly heavy. So that's the one thing I like about these. Do the job well. They're definitely tougher, so it fits in the bucket. And well, when I ship these, I've been putting them in a bucket, not even a good bucket, because I'm not sending you guys my good buckets. But I put a lid on the bucket, tape it up, and send it, because I am afraid in a cardboard box what the United States Postal Service would do to this. But in the 5-gallon, my washers just got back. Just in time. 7:22. Got the top bunk cleared off. 1 baby steps, wrench, baby steps. I found 6 more on the floor, but I still wasn't going to get through. Thank you so very much. Is it running right there? Is it running?
Yeah, she wants to go towards Grandpa's for a minute.
Yeah, she needs to drive.
And I told her, I said, you could have told me this before I put my mail tray and everything.
Oh, because you're riding in the back seat? That's always fun.
No, I got to take it out.
She wanted to drove you all over. No, that's okay though. I don't need my side of my truck tore up because she's running over people's mailboxes, and then I also don't need to have to go fix people's mailboxes. All right, guys, these will be the last 2 cuts, and I'm going to wrap it up. I will see you guys over at Benzo's. You guys can watch for this thing completed. Overlapping tab off. I think I do. I know I do actually. So yeah, I gotta fold this up and cut it right about there. All right, honey. I will see you later. I'm gonna
We'll be back soon.
watch Benzo's live and get this riveted together, and I'll be ready for a handle tomorrow. And I might even start cutting on another one. And then
She wants to go check out the diphtheria cemetery because she says, Mom, I think people are stealing gravestones. I said, well, I would know.
all right. Freehand this last one. No black magic marker. All right. So there you have it. Now I just need to bend all of those in now that they're cut so beautifully. And then once I get them bent in, then I got to start cutting the tips to length, because if they overlap, it doesn't let it all fold down. So I kind of get them bent close, I guess, on the length, and then I leave a few long and I trim them up just to be sure I don't end up with a hole in the middle. But thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to go through chat one more time. And like I said, I will get this bent the rest of the way. And you got to see 90% of the process. Oh no. Holy cow, I screwed up. Nobody told me. I put the hem on the inside exactly the way I said I didn't like to do it. How did I not notice that all the way until now? I said this one was the nicest one, and here it's backwards. It'll still work, but when you dump it out, now there's that little lip there everything's going to want to get caught in. What a bummer. I can't do nothing about it now, so. And it's still going to be full price. Son of a... Mama said there'd be days like this, I guess. That's what I get for trying to do stuff live. Shit happens for sure, wrench. Jeffrey, I'm going to get you a wrench. And yeah, guys, Benzo is going to be going live real quick here. So I will see you all over there. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't believe I did that the wrong way. Oh, mine's nice. Thank you, John R. I will have a good one. King's Gold, you too. And good luck, everybody, in the duck races. Hopefully my duck's faster tonight. I'm on a roll. I got a win at Wrenches and then a win. Where was the other one? I don't remember. So tonight will be three for free for me. Hopefully. No, I just jinxed myself saying that. But see you guys over there. Have a great night. Where is the go away button? Yes.